us again how you were working with Al Jolson in the recording studio.
Well, now Al Jolson, it was a great thrill and a great experience. And I'll never forget him. I'll never forget what he did in the recording studio when we were recording the music for the picture with my band. And of course, during that time, there was an ASCAP strike, and none of the music was ever popular, was ever known. Nobody ever heard of it. It was because of that time that the strike was on. But anyway, we were recording, and we were doing a song called I Love to Sing. I love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. I love to sing and each time I would record this thing, I forgot part of the lyric, which is natural thing for me to do because I've done it all my life. And I kept forgetting, and Harold Arlen, who wrote the music, would come and dash in the studio, and he'd stop the recording and give me, straighten me out and say, "You've made that mistake." So after 2 or 3 times, Al Jolson, who was sitting in the studio there, he jumped up and says, "Look, leave this kid alone. Let him sing the song anyway, and anything he wants to say, just leave him alone. Don't you come in here and bother him again." You go on. And I'll never forget that.
Well, your famous Heidi, Heidi Ho, was that because you forgot
That's right.
to tell that story?
Right, so, yeah. Yeah, that's how Minnie the Moocher was born, yeah. I mean, I forgot the lyric, I put in ski-beep-beep-beep, Heidi Ho, and Heidi Ho, Heidi Ho, and Heidi Ho caught on. So then I sat down and wrote Minnie the Moocher. And then the Heidi Ho's been going on now ever since.
Good. Okay. You know, I'm hesitant to quote out of this man's book, but I think this is probably right. In that book, you state that you opened at the Savoy, just a month after the crash, and that you have a theory about why the entertainment business is good when times are bad, and we would love to hear you say that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what it was, but I made it through that depression. The depression years were my biggest years. I don't know why, because I can remember doing one-nighters with my band, and we used to have a huge crowd, and I made a lot of money.
What do you think?
I can remember kids when we used to count the money, see them old rusty dollars, dirty, and you had change. There was something, yeah. But I guess that is a good theory, that whenever there's depression, entertainment is very, very, very good, because, I mean, it takes people's mind off of what they're going through.
Yeah, that's what we think too. People in the 30s really needed to have, that spirit, the music.
Yeah.
It helped lift their spirits. Don't you think that Irving Berlin's music did that often, lifted people's spirits, especially during the war?
Yes, yes.
Can you think about his wartime music?
Didn't he write Buddy?
No.
No? Didn't write Buddy.
But,
He over there.
No, but he wrote, I hate to get up in the morning.
Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning, yeah.
And This Is the Army, and of course his love songs too, like Always and What'll I Do. Can you talk about that for a bit?
He was the first one with them love songs, as far as I can remember. I mean, What'll I Do, yeah, and Blue Skies, and I'll Be Loving You Always. She's fantastic.
Now, did you play those with the, did your band play?
Yes,
those
yes,
songs?
oh yes, yeah.
Tell me what some of your favorites were of those songs. I mean, especially that the crowd would always react to those love songs.
Now I can't.
Excuse me, cut a second.
I think they got it.
They-
right away. Yeah.
They got it right away.
I'm still running.
Can't think now. Can't think of
Well,
it.
why don't we, remember I asked you if, what your favorite Irving Berlin song is, and maybe you could sing a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have one right now? And you could say my favorite song. One of my favorites.
Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Blue days rolling along, nothing but blue days.
Wonderful. Great. Let's get back to the Cotton Club for a minute because I think that you played there so often in the 30s, and I would love to you must have had the most perfect view of all of the dancers. Could you describe some of the dancing that they were doing in the 30s?
The dancing in the 30s was more, well, it was more rhythmic than it's ever been. I mean, today it's not half as rhythmic as it was. Most of the dancing was rhythmic, and now it's ballet, it's semi-ballet. Of course, we did tap, and but it was really what we used to call hard sock dancing.
I read about something called truckin'.
Trucking came from the Cotton Club. We originated that dance there, trucking, and there was another one called pecking, and the Susie Q, and the scrunch.
Could you describe any of those? Tell me what some of the motions were like?
Well, it's the movements of the feet and the hands and the body, that's all. Yeah, no way I could describe it any other way than that, that's all. Unless, it's a visual thing that you'd have to see what happened.
Well, Irving Berlin at that same time was writing those Fred and Ginger movies. So did you see a lot of that kind of dancing?
Ginger Rogers? Yeah. I was a little too busy at that time.
You didn't see out on the dance floor a lot of couples imitating Fred Astaire?
Fred Astaire, no.
Okay. Well, I'd also like to ask you about the big band era itself. I know that Glenn Miller and the Dorseys and Artie Shaw and Benny Goodman would come to the Cotton Club to look at your band and listen to it. There was a lot of cross-influencing going on. Could you tell me what you think they got from the black musical groups and what you got from them?
Well, I think they got the same kick out of that the average person does today. I mean, they come up to have the eardrums blown out. And that's what happens, and that's what we did. We shouted at them, and that brass, solid brass. I'm half deaf right now from it because I was in front of it for years. But anyway, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it's like people today go to the discos, they go to cabaret. Well, they don't go to cabarets anymore. I'll tell you that. But they go to these concerts. It's the same thing. That doesn't change.
Okay.